Well, we didn't think we'd get here, but Sangal have proven us wrong. A map in Anubis that the CSGO stats say should have been stacked in Sinner's favour, and somehow they turn it over. It's a very similar story as we head to Ancient. The question is, can Sangal pull off the miracle again? They get to start T-side this time, which is where they had the overwhelming majority of their success on Anubis. And well, their T-side start is leading them straight into a stacked B-bomb site. Plenty of presence here for the CT side. As the push starts to come in, the Julies look to go to work inside the site itself. Quertz with a quick double, make it 3. The Julies in CS2 are unreal, and 4 quick kills proves my point. Panic's left. Well, in a bit of a panic, quite frankly. The bomb down inside of the site. The Julies are reloaded for Quertz, and he shall go hunting as he looks to find his full complement here to start things off on Ancient.
Yeah, I mean, Panix was playing incredibly well on that last map, but I think a 1-on-4 will be a bit too much to ask of him. Quertz hunting for the ace, might just finally spotted him. There we go. It's going to be all 5 for Quertz. Were they all headshots?
Julies, baby. I believe they were.
I'm pretty sure. Either way, crazy round. And I wanted to point out, Sinners, of course, have really strong stats here on Ancient, but they've been playing Ancient since the moment it was added to the map pool. I remember before most teams were willing to play it, Sinners were pulling it out constantly. It was their go-to map. It was what allowed them, I think, to have a lot of success in one of their seasons when they had only had a bit of a roster change up themselves. Obviously, they've had a ton of roster changes since then as well, but it seems like Ancient never really goes out of their map pool. Sangal, though, they've been pretty down on their luck when it comes to the pistol round so far, and they still made things work back on Anubis, so we'll see what can be done once they get the guns. For now, though, it's all Glocks, and they're just going to charge it up towards B once again. There's no dual Berettas waiting for them this time. It's an MP9 in the hands of B-Stick. The 1 kill actually gives them enough room to get that bomb planted as well, so even though any more kills look unlikely, success has been found in terms of allowing them now to go into this next round with the rifles and with a good amount of utility behind it as well. I know it's
a good little buy.
There we go. Oh, Oskar gets the shotgun kill. A little bit smarter. That's going to be a bit more CT economy towards the upper.
It's a nice little win, that, for the T side. You know, they only bring full Glocks to the situation, and whilst, yes, they only get the 1 kill, as you said, that bomb plant is worth its weight in gold financially. Gives them an opportunity here, headed into round 3, a much stronger buy than they perhaps otherwise would have afforded. Full util across the board. Everyone can have everything they want, and for the CTs, well, because they only lost the 1 man, they're going to stick it out with a little bit of a bonus round here. Shock on the MP9. Oskar sticking it out with the XM. I have to see where he looks to deploy that as he takes it over towards the B site early. But a heavier A-lean this time from Sangal, looking to mix it up.
Fairly standard default right now from Sangal otherwise. As you said, a bit more presence around their main maps than normally expected. It's a player deep back in towards Donut right now, so Zedco pretty much alone on this A side of the map. Can't afford to hold too aggressively either, so they could be walking out on the site right now, and he doesn't really have the info to work with until they've fully committed it. We know that's not the case, though. They're just wasting a ton of utility, really throwing it out, hoping to do some damage and pull a peek, I guess, in towards main.
Pull a rotation as well, I suspect, hoping that maybe they can catch a man out in transition somewhere else on the map, but thus far, nothing being given.
Shock did rotate down from Red Room, I think, in Drudona.
They've still got starts to make his work up mid. And that's a decent little rotation to pull off, right? You've got that mid control now to work with. And that 3B play has just started to dissipate as Sin has started to realise that, you know, maybe there was going to be a play through red. B-Stick has to fall off it. 33 seconds on the clock, though. That molly buys them an extra 10. I mean, this is going to be a B-site finish, but if Quertz and Oskar can get a little bit done each here and can find just a smidge of bonus damage, that could be absolutely huge. A huge amount of damage found. Oskar gets 1, and they're going to have to redirect it. It's going to be late over towards the A site, but there's presence. There's so much presence. 12 seconds as they look to work their way out onto the site. Sorsal with a critical kill, but B-Stick and Zedco combine, and, well, as much as Panix does manage to get that bomb down, his position is now known and will be dealt with as such. Sangal, I think, just maybe outplaying themselves a little bit there on the T side. Felt like they were looking for a little too much in terms of drawing rotations, trying to draw a pick out of Sinners. And the CT side were just willing to hold, willing to wait and bide their time. The clock becomes their friends at the death. And it's a 3-0 start for Sinners.
Yeah, we've seen a similar outcome in the early stages of Anubis, though, so I don't want to kind of call anything too soon. Sangal, of course, wanting to come alive, though, in this first good round, if possible. Heavy towards a main, and Oskar just standing his ground. Okay, manages to come away with the 2 headshots. Not a bad result at all. There is a quick rotation in Trudona from Zedco. Having already lost 2 players, Sangal are, well, hesitant, to say the least, about actually committing in towards the bomb site. And by the time they do finally start moving out, the smokes will be beginning to fade. And Zedco, of course, still in position, although that smoke was spotted being tossed over from the back of the bomb site. So I think LNZ has the info, but it's been checked. Zedco has the read, but he doesn't land the shots. LNZ opens up the bomb site and puts them into the 3-on-3 now. There is a lurker there with Panic still over towards the B ramp. We'll see if he's able to do anything to help his teammates, because they are being pinched in on right now, and they might actually send the bomb back through a main, it looks like.
They don't have to commit here. LNZ's up, but the bomb can escape if it wants to. E-Stick has started to realise that, though, and catches Panics with too many angles to clear and not enough time. That's a really nice read from Sinners to send the man back. Will have to be now this A-site finish. Shock is in a good position to do some work, and he'll get one before the trade. Youngster down to 20 HP in the contact, and now starting to be pinched in almost immediately. KWERTZZ inside a donut gets the kill. And Sinners have their 4th. A little sketchy at times, but they're finding their feet on this CT side, and considering that was where they had so many problems on Anubis, it's a nice place to be.
Yeah, 4-0. They'll keep on tallying up the rounds here. Sangal, of course, can keep on buying thanks to the bomb plant at least, but they do want to start actually winning some rounds soon enough, or it's going to be a little bit too late to actually get on their feet. Anix has been really quiet in comparison to what he was doing on Anubis as well. KWERTZZ was kind of second up there on the scoreboard. He's even yet to get a frag for himself, so individually right now we're not getting the same level from Sangal. And oh, I was going to say that boost had been red. Never mind, Oskar goes off the angle just as Panix hops on it. Oskar even looks at his teammate as he gets absolutely shut down by the upper and says, I swear, man, just cleared it. There was no one there. Not my old eyes. As Oskar tries to do what he can towards his B bomb site, but unfortunately Youngster had already crept in up close and KWERTZZ wasn't aware. So the number advantage goes back towards Sangal, and Zedco's positioning came, I think, has been red. Youngster knows about it, shuts him down with the headshot, and at this point the bomb now finally being planted with the 4-on-2.
Job done. Shock able to get one, but the molly falling onto Oskar gives away his position, and now Shock is left in the clutch. Finds the first. Makes Panic out on the angle. Well, he's got a bit of a timing here onto the second. kyuubii just not expecting him to change position that quickly. Buys him the 1v1, but no information on Sorcel's position whatsoever. Down that ramp, timing's ugly for him, and Sorcel will take full advantage. Catches his man transitioning between gun and nade, and Sangal have their first round. It's a tight one, but they get it over the line, and the economy for Sinners is not great. These rounds have been expensive. They will just be able to skim the buy together here, but if this one goes wrong, that's it. Will be an eco to follow, so a huge opportunity for Sangal to start breaking the bank, but it's not great for them either.
Surprisingly, they hadn't built up that economy, as you were saying, throughout the initial round, so they've even got an MP9 in play and very limited utility. They do use the limited nades, though, to take this early mid control at the very least. It seems to have forced Sangal into a very passive default. They still have some players back in spawn waiting to throw the lay smokes down for mid. KWERTZZ flashed in through the smoke, though. I think he was heard up close, so Youngster's going to be ready for as he comes through, and yeah, just catches KWERTZZ fading back into the smoke, has a free kill pretty much. Strong flash from LNZ as well that allowed him to take that peak uncontested.
It's a nice idea from Sinners, just a little unfortunate of the timing of it. Sangal's very passive default pays off, and with the man advantage, they start to really work this problem, pushing up towards red. Zedko's had a tough series and he's going to be put under yet more pressure here. 3 players about to head into his crosshair. The timing, he's good for 1, but the trade is instant. And this B-site split looks very ugly now. Oskar and B-Stick. Oskar at least able to grab the first. And that may well change the picture here. Shock has gone very proactively into A main. But if Oskar can deny the bomb or even just spot it out, he's seen panics now. Knows what's meant to be coming, but Youngster catches B-Stick on the rotation, and now it's absolute carnage. Shock is looking to work his way back out towards mid. Oskar is having an absolute brawl in red, and he gets one, wants the second, and goes for it. Youngster up against the vet, can't quite land it, Oskar. He will go down into the 1v1. Shock, I don't believe heard yet. 8 seconds left on the clock, but he's going to let the bomb get away, and his position now known as well. The plant will come through. Shock up against Youngster in the 1v1. AK versus M4. Shock nade in hand, but he's not going to be caught out twice. We'll recover the AWP for Oskar. It's another very scrappy round. A little bit of magic from Oskar on that AWP. Saves it, arguably, for the Sinners. A 5th on the board, but at what cost?
Everything pretty much. Only an op carried forward. Everyone else is going to be looking at weaker weaponry, maybe some M4A1Ss with body armor, just if they're willing to sacrifice the nades, but I think more likely we're going to have a bunch of MP9s, maybe some FAMASs in play. Sangal, again, do at least get a bomb plant so they can manage to bring the rifles into play, but this back and forth, I mean, it did eventually go their way on Anubis, but you do not want to be making this a common occurrence. Definitely making things more difficult than they need to be. Yeah, as I said, some FAMASs, 2 MP9s in there as well alongside that FAMAS. Nades are better than they've been for a while, though.
Question is, can they hold off? Arguably worse off in firepower terms, despite their success in the previous. And it's a very sparse B hold this time. Previously, we've had at least an AWP over there, often a rifle in support. Now just 2 MP9s, a huge nade. Might be just what they need to start this one off. LNZ and Youngster chewing on it. But as the exec comes in, KWERTZZ is blind and isolated. The blind Mac 10 of LNZ will get the job done, and that's B. The site is taken. The lurk from Soursoul gets a huge amount of damage onto Zedko, and now they've got to be conscious of the flank as well. Shock's able to grab at least one. Takes out the AWP of Panics. There's the flank dealt with by Oskar, and suddenly this one starts to swing the other way. kyuubii on the angle, not able to do anything. Oskar grabs another on the flank, and it's all Youngster. Tapping away for one. He knows he's got to take this site. Be proactive with it, but Zedko's FAMAS immediately there to trade away. And despite the success of breaking into the site, the retake with Oskar just battle-AWPing his way from A to B is absolutely monstrous.
Yeah, we're starting to get slightly more decisive rounds here as well now out of Sinners, which is a scary prospect for Sangal. Again, they do always find success, at least in terms of initial entries, finding their way in and getting that bomb planted. It's just Sinners now beginning to move a little bit more swiftly and convincingly with those retakes.
It's Oskar, man. It's Oskar again.
Yeah.
Like, if he doesn't get, I mean, either of those kills, the first one, the round's gone immediately. The second one is a bit more sketchy, but he takes out the player who's on A, who's the flank potential, right? Who forces the timing of Sinners and pushes them in. He gets that. And then secondly, he gets the man trying to play out a cave and catch the ramp player who's just killed his AWPer. It's 2 critical kills, and Oskar's just battle-AWPing it. You saw it 2 rounds ago in Red Room. He gets a double kill just playing so aggressively. Proper old-school AWPing, and it works out again for him. Unfortunately for him, the buys will keep on coming from Sangal. This one, at the very least, the CT side have better equipment to deal with. A proper full buy for the CTs. Good utility, good firepower, full rifles, AWP in Oskar's hands, of course. And Sangal want to up the speed here. They want to up the pressure straight into the cave. Pressing onto Jaguar, forcing KWERTZZ's retreat. B-Stick will look to join up, and they have got a bit of mid-presence here, but this headshot angle for Shock is not an easy one to hold consistently. Pot Flash draws him off it initially. LNZ wants the fight, will be put down. Traded 1 for 1 though, and now they're starting to clear out mid. CTs have got to be careful, as suddenly KWERTZZ trying to catch a man off guard. is found instead on the corner of the smoke by kyuubii, leaving that B site desperately vulnerable. Beestick is solo, holding just about everything himself. The Molotov gives away his position. He does well to get one, but he's being flanked out from sight all the while. He's got to find some cover. Just about gets away with the first shot and somehow pivots to trade it. As our feed crashes and life gets very, very difficult. That's really unfortunate. Hopefully, we'll have some updates for you soon. That's a classic. HLTV is a little too far away as well, so we can't even do the HLTV commentary. As Beestick was looking for some magic in the cave there, Dean.
Yeah, things unfortunately apart there for us, so we don't get to see how it plays out. We'll see whether Beestick pulls off the miracle or not when we get back. For Sangal's sake, you have to hope that he's not able to get anything done there. Sangal are in a position where their comeback needs to start here and now. I mean, I did not expect Ancient to be going worse than their Anubis did.
No, it's certainly not, especially considering their starting T side, right? The T side was the overwhelming majority of their success. And well, they have bought themselves a 2-on-1 for Sorcel in the afterplant situation. He's isolated a fight as well, but it won't quite be enough. Beestick only able to get the 2, but the fact he even gets 2 inside of that cave is quite frankly absurd, right? There's a nice entry that should be traded guaranteed by the man on site, but it felt like he just bit off a little more than he could chew too quickly there, the man on site. So keen to get the kill on Beestick, he didn't push all the way around to get the headshot. Then he only does half damage. Beestick does an incredible job to pivot and get a second kill before he goes down, and almost single-handedly buys a round that should have been Sangal's back for his team. It's 7-1 now. T-side for Sangal falling apart. We'll go check and try and get a better idea of, how these ancient numbers stack up for them. But considering the T side was overwhelmingly successful for them on Anubis, and they're currently about 50-50 across Go and 2 on Ancient, this is not a good look for them at all.
Oh, I mean, to bring it this far as well, to somehow get it over the line on Anubis with come back in the fashion that they did, only to never really get going here on Ancient, would be a big letdown, I'd imagine, for themselves. Ball bang, not quite landing. It does potentially push a player back just as they start pushing up this ramp. Quirtz, caught around the smoke, is in a bit of an awkward spot and is forced to fall back to the cave. There's one player in on long as well as a player close on CT. That youngster will take the fight against the flank as well. Works out, but not before Beestick had already taken himself 3 kills on that bomb site, and there's still a player in the back corner. Quirtz only now showing himself, getting away with a kill before going down and delaying enough for the rotations to come in, but it's all going to be on kyuubii. Takes that first frag, and well, with Oskar on the up right now, a missed shot could cost him the round.
Bomb inside of the smoke, and they're going to transition. kyuubii taps it, wants to bait it, wants to take the fight. They're dancing around the smoke at the moment. Timing is everything. Oskar looking the wrong way, will be punished. Huge clutch from kyuubii. Finds himself the triple to drag Sangal into the round, kicking and screaming, quite frankly. It's a tough one to swallow for Sinners as well, because as you look down that economy, at no point have they established it, and they are broke, Dean.
Absolutely shattered. I mean, Oskar could get an up in armor if he wanted, but only Zedko's facing a double eco, so it looks like they're willing to take that one eco, get the buyout in the next round, and maybe have Zedko on like a FAMAS or something, while everyone else will be fairly comfortable, I'd imagine. But yeah, I mean, this buy isn't all that great for Sangal either. They have a Galil and the Mac 10 in there. They should be fine since they're not up against anything, but if they do lose 2 or 3 players, they could be in a position that leaves them very weak going forward. That's an AK actually being stolen away. A Galil in the hands of Sossel trying to hold them off and give his teammates time to make their way back towards me and hopefully stop the AK from being recovered, but it is picked up by Quirtz in the end. It achieves 1 more kill. That's a Galil and an AK dropped. LNZ already had an AK, right? So it's not like he got an upgrade or anything right there. So they do end up losing a rifle. Will they keep the Mac 10? I mean, it might be worthwhile upgrading there as well and just getting rifles across the board if possible, but it's going to cost them pretty much everything.
That was really nicely played by Sorcel, you have to say. Knowing to back away from the situation was a huge amount of risk of getting overrun and dropping a second rifle there. By just backing away, buying space for his teammates, turns what could have become a concerning situation around. Oskar this time with the AWP in hand wants to try and press the issue into mid. Again, a very passive lean to start things off for Sangal. And that does leave Oskar very vulnerable here to the timing. Yeah, no idea that they were just charging out. As much as shot gets one, it's Oskar going down that's critical. And all of a sudden, this one is falling apart a little bit. Huge amount of damage done by KWERTZZ, and just tapping away, he doubles up. Drops the bomb in towards mid as well. He has left the B site, though, and that is now completely open. Timing is everything as KWERTZZ triples. Just tapping away, gets it all done, and he surely, doesn't realise it initially, but clearly communicated across that he saw the last man. Youngster able to grab at least one, but I don't think he expects the man in towards Zed. Zedco here in a position that may well be named after him someday. Gets himself the kill. 8th on the board. 2 players alive. It's a really nice recovery from Sinners, especially considering the situation they found themselves in with Oskar going down early and Shock only able to trade for 1.
Sangal, I mean, if they can claw out this 4th round, I would say it's a pretty good recovery from what was initially 7-1 there for a while. So still in an okay position, but they do need this final round so that second pistol round won't be do or die. Stossel beating the molly right there. He takes a ton of damage though. Does need the assistance of his teammates, as you can see, to get the kills in the end, but keeps himself alive for the moment, just about, as he gets naded even further down. Oh, the smoke. It actually ends up costing them. That was LNZ's smoke, I believe, right?
Yeah, it was a brave play. They dropped the HE to try and take the peak towards short, but with so many low HP players on site, opened up the spam down. Does, however, start to swing back in Sangal's favour. Panics. A big kill to get. The CTs want to press the issue and not to be. 8-4. Another solid recovery from Sangal as we head into the half.
break up, don't speak for a couple of weeks. I'll be in his place till he calls and says he's sorry. This situation's on repeat, just like a scratch on a CD. It just gets deeper when you hit rewind. How many nights will you make this decision? Nights ending tears and it's blurring your vision. You know he don't love you, what you holding on to. Scream through the phone even though he won't listen. So I'm still at your place, trying to make it okay. He's miles away, I'm left here with you. Say that you just need someone caring for you. When will you see me more than your rescue? I'm feeling kinda used, yeah, like a drug that you take when you're sick of crying all your tears away. Is that all I am? All I want is for you to be happy. You know this ain't healthy. Do I make you happy? How many nights will you make this decision? Nights ending tears and it's blurring your vision. You know he don't love you, what you holding on to. Scream through the phone even though he won't listen. So I'm still at your place, trying to make it okay. He's miles away, I'm left here with you. Say that you just need someone caring for you. When will you see me more than you rescue? I'm doing everything he doesn't do, but I'm still not enough. Even your parents know I'm good for you, but I'm still not enough. You wanna be done with him, you're stuck with him, 'cause you don't have the guts. And after all I've done, I'm still not enough. Still at your place, trying to make it okay. He's miles away, I'm left here with you. Say that you just need someone caring for you. When will you see me more than your rescue?
Well, Sangal have left themselves a mountain to climb on the CT side, but we've seen them climb bigger mountains before, Dean.
Yeah, I mean, literally less than an hour ago, I'd imagine it was at this point. So I cannot count them out after what we've seen on Anubis, a map that in theory they were quite a bit worse on and don't have the same level of experience on. So let's see how this plays out. This pistol round, though, could be what decides it. If Sinners pick it up, then they could have a smooth path to the finish line. And well, Sangal don't want to let that happen. That's why they've already gone aggressive and taken that first kill down towards the B ramp. The issue is over on A. It's only Sossel right now that's here in place to hold it, but the rotations are on their way as fast as possible. Smoke trying to hold them back if it can, rather, and it will keep that player out of position of being able to actually help Sossel on the back of the bomb site, so he goes down without much of a fight. But it's a very quick attempt at the retake.
Very, very swift. Panic straight out, catches one man off guard, but KWERTZZ and Zedco are immediately there with the response, and at this point, you got a little bit of control to big box, a little bit of control towards 90, a kit to get yourself on that bomb, and LNZ, well, he's going to do all he can here, and they're not going to find the kill initially, and oh my goodness, they get the defuse, Dean! The kills come in, but not quickly enough. The defuse lands, and somehow Sangal get a fifth.
Yeah, off of a Hail Mary play, really, that's what it was.
Yep.
They were like, you know what, we're not getting these kills, just hop on that damn bomb and see if we can pull it away, and it does indeed come true, even with a knife kill in there. The economy, I mean, okay for Sinners, considering they got the bomb planted, as I said, a knife kill also. So you can see an AK, a molly, and a smoke there on towards KWERTZZ, rifles, a couple of Galils, and another AK there on Zedco as well. So it's not a bad buy. Sinners do have the better weaponry of the two, really. So Sangal still need to be worried in this round for sure, but it's the start that they needed, and they clinched it from the jaws of defeat right there.
Gone for a heavy B mid play here, and it's left A completely open for the taking. There is a slightly wonky donut smoke there, which for a split second threatens to cause some problems, but bomb down inside the A site. I mean, I've seen saves for less, and well, we're not going to quite find out, unfortunately, whether we are going to get the save, because we've got some further technical issues, unfortunately, so we'll have to wait and see how that round pans out. But again, a really solid start for Sinners, right? You can almost discount that pistol because a Hail Mary play comes off. It's a little unfortunate. Inside of the smoke, it just doesn't quite pan out. I think the knife actually connects to the man in front instead of the diffuser. It's sort of one of those things, right? That second round, though, well read, well executed, and Sangal had nothing to respond, at least up until the point of the bomb plant.
Yeah, I mean, it's still hard to, as you said, though, make a read off of these initial few rounds. So we'll see if that continues moving on towards the full gun rounds, because that does seem to be where Sangal have actually found most of their success. So will that trend continue? Will we see them starting off with a bit of a comeback here on their second half or not? I do believe we're going to be getting back into the game right now, so we'll know how that round played out. It wouldn't have been paused, of course. It is just those that are having some technical issues, so don't worry about that. The players were still playing on. Be a lot worse if the whole server went down. It
is Sinners who get it done. And it looks like Sangal gave the retake a go as well and got absolutely gutted for it. Their force buys very ugly.
Yeah, they had to force it up. Wouldn't have been buying in this next round no matter what. So, I mean, at most, maybe they have one more gun round here to attempt to build a comeback from. That is not a good position to be in.
They are going to go for aggression over towards B, though, and a slightly isolated fight could be taken. Its timing's all over the shot, but B-Stick's good for the spray down. 2 clean headshots. And that, again, should be this round as good as done. It's a nice idea from Sangal. Just, again, lacking the firepower. I think lacking the utility a little bit to maybe pull that one off as well. Could have done with a flashbang down the ramp. Just not forthcoming, unfortunately. And now that one remaining pistol has been spotted out. Just going to be a matter of cleaning up house, really, for the T side. Flashbangs come out. They're even going to take the A site with bomb down. Just trying to make sure this one is as clean as possible. 10 on the board, as you said, full eco to follow. That'll be 11 before Sangal can even dream of getting the rifles up. This CT side is very swiftly falling away from them. And that's in spite of the pistol round going their way as well.
Sossel? Okay. Thought he was going to be an easy enough target there, but no, the 5-7 takes out one at least before being dealt with. Not really going to have a massive impact, though. The economy's still there. Beastic will be dropped an AK, and as we had said, that was the force buy in the previous round from Sangal. So now they're looking at an eco. It'll be 11 for Sinners, and they'll be on the brink of victory. Just as Sangal get back onto the rifles themselves. So yeah, it's not a good position to be in. We've seen them have come alive many times throughout this game, but it's going to have to be a flawless comeback if they want to make it happen. Bit of a B stack coming in. Let's see how this plays out for them.
I like the idea. Unfortunately, Sinners have sent arguably the perfect thing to clear it out. Yes, he goes down, but it's the Mac 10, right? That's the one thing that you can afford to sort of lose. Now you got to be a little bit careful, but KWERTZZ getting 3 should bait LNZ right into this. He does well to actually get another one. But at this point, yeah, panics. 1v3, bomb going down on the A site, thinking about damage. And the problem with that is at some point, the damage has got to start converting into rounds for you. And Sangal really haven't left themselves a lot of room to do that. Might be able to nab one here, Panics, if he can catch a nice timing. But for now, it looks like Sinners will get away with it.
A weapon would have been nice for Panics. Doesn't look like it's going to happen, though. It's caught by shock, and yeah, 11-5. We expected it. Last couple of rounds, I think they lost 1 and then 2 players, so unfortunately for Sangal, the economy has begun to bolster here for Sinners, so it's 2 or 3 gun rounds, 2, most likely, before they actually start to break that economy down. At that point, yeah, sure, you'd be up to about 7 rounds, maybe an 8th one off the back of it. You'd need 2 more gun rounds likely to tie it up, so it's an achievable comeback, but it is not going to be an easy one. They cannot falter at all. See what the plan is. Quick on the mid control, smokes and mollies down from both sides. kyuubii manages to burn Shock alive. That did not work out for Shock at all as planned. He was alone.
That's a nice win. It's a nice win. Sangal find themselves a man up courtesy of just about nothing. You'll take those picks all day long when they're given to you. 4v5 for Sinners to try and work their way out of. They've got a little bit of pressure into the B lane, but B-Stick again is looking very isolated, and we've seen Sangal consistently pressing this issue and working their way down. So Sinners will be forced to commit some bodies. Oskar very nearly catches a man with a nade out there, but gets away with it. The mid-split looks to come through for the T side. Just looking to start to press the issue, see if maybe they can draw a rotation or two. Start to look for a pick on the extremities of the map, but nothing immediately forthcoming. Sangal are playing this smart, setting themselves up on the angles only when they absolutely need to, not taking too much by the way of fights. And well, LNZ, he is on a bit of an off angle, but Oskar's read it well. We'll be able to get him for free. Can retreat out of that one as well. Doesn't need to overcommit. 2 now, spotting inside the angle. Well sprayed down onto 1. Panics his position known as well, so they'll charge up the ramp to try and isolate him. Well worked by B-Stick as he looks for a little bit more, and the spray connects onto Sorcel. Last man known, and it's almost there for kyuubii. The damage gets him a double, but KWERTZZ is just about in position to trade it out. By Sinners their 12th, the 4v5 converted again by the T-side roster. And well, Sangal, what on earth can you buy to try and defend this series?
I don't know. It's a Hail Mary play that's going to be needed. Mostly MP9s, 1 M4 onto kyuubii. Youngster stuck on a Deagle. He's probably been their most impactful player as well, so not ideal that he's relegated down to just the pistol here in what could be the final round. A bit more aggressive on that mid control from Sangal. Needing to be up close and personal. LNZ pushing shelf. I was going to say, I don't think he realized there's a player close in on the left, and that could be Oskar has a free kill. Shock spam Sossel down on mid. They must have used that nade again to open things up, and well, suddenly it's a 5-on-3 in what was already a pretty difficult round to begin with for Sangal.
Okay. Youngster able to grab at least 1. I was about to say this should just be a matter of trading down your remaining kills, but Oskar gets a little too keen. Gives an AK across. And that does open up just ever so slight a possibility here. kyuubii's going to rotate to join over towards B, which is where Sinners look to end this at the moment. No utility for the CT side to try and contest whatsoever, so a well-placed execute should lock them out of this fight near enough entirely. And here we go, smokes over the top. Molotov to follow. Shock does well on the corner of the smoke to deal with Youngster. And now as kyuubii looks to swing on wide, Beastick's got his teammates back. That's a plant. And a 1v4 for Panics to try and work out some kind of way to get back into. He's got to give it a go. But he's conscious that he might be getting flanked here, so he's holding red. He's holding red for an awfully long time. Only now just starting to make his way up, and that is job done. 13-5 will be the final scoreline on Ancient. It was close on Mirage. It was close on Anubis. It was no such thing in the third and final map. Sinners find their feet and find the form that the stats say they should have for all intents and purposes and get the job done.
Yeah, I mean, it's a little bit of a heartbreaker for